Okay, well, I'll just ask you right off the bat, can you hear me now? After a little bit of technical difficulties, we are back online. Sorry about that, but we are here now, ready to answer your questions about your digital marketing career or your career in general. I mean, I'll help anybody, but my specialty lies in the world of online business, content creation, and ultimately digital marketing is the right word to summarize what it is that I know and I do. And why should you ask questions to me? Well, I've seen a lot in digital marketing. I've been around since the days of early blogging when WordPress was in its infancy, multi generations of that software later. I've been here before Canva, before these things existed. So I've seen a lot of the jobs change and evolve, and what tools have come and gone. It's been an exciting journey. What platforms have come and gone. So I've been putting content online well over 10 years now, and that's a big part of digital marketing today. It's more and more every year that goes by because video has ultimately become a very dominant medium, and people enjoy video the most by far. It's not to say you can't enjoy a podcast. It's not to say you're not sick of some of the videos out there, but in general, if the videos are high quality, that is our preferred mode of consuming content. I also really wanted to start off the bat by saying it's so important to understand that digital marketing is communication. It's modern communication. And most of the modern communication we do is online. So you can also think of yourself as a communications expert. How do I express from one account to another account? How do I express from business to consumer? How do I express to persuade? How do I express to engage? There's so many different expressions you might want to try. So fancy yourself becoming a little bit better of a communicator as well as a digital marketer, and those two things will go really well hand in hand. Any issues with the audio, you can let me know. I'm back on YouTube for the first time live in quite some time. I mean, I have many stories to share about what I've been doing in the last year. I think the big thing for people to remember about Rich UX is he's a new parent, right? I have a child who is 3 years old now, and I have another one about to come any day now. So I really wanted to get on here, get some questions answered in case I go off the map for a week or two. Make sure you're on the right track, whether you're working with me as a freelancer at richandniche.com or you're working with me at coursecareers.com to try and get your first entry-level job. I'm happy to cover the full gamut today. I expect people of all levels to be here, and it's always great that we can learn through others' stories and experiences. Welcome everyone to the live call. PJ, Imagination, Austin, Milosh, Ross, whoever else is out there lurking in the streets. No problem, be a lurker. Totally fine. But if you want your question asked, go ahead and put it in the chat. For now, we're only going to have chat-based Q&A. In the future, I imagine I'll have call-ins. So my goal is to start trying to be live on YouTube every Monday, approximately at this time, but that's really not going to be solidified until the new baby comes and is settled in. But as you know, I think it's important to remind people where we're at with some things. And, the first thing that I want to talk about is Course Careers. Course Careers launched a digital marketing course about four and a half months ago. Let's see, March, April, May, June. Yeah, it really got live in March. It was soft launched in February. So that's 4 months. A lot of people, I can tell, are worried about whether this course is effective, whether they can get a job. I totally understand that sentiment. And especially right now, I want to be very clear with you that in the last 3 to 5 years, I'd say this year is likely to be the most difficult one to get a job, primarily because it's unclear about the economy due to interest rates being high, due to inflation being high. That hasn't played out yet, and that is affecting a lot of business. When interest rates are high, businesses have to be very careful with how they spend their money. That leads into all sorts of job-related issues, but I think the bigger elephant in the room is the AI. And I think right now, a lot of companies are going to be reconfiguring how they operate a lot of their business. AI is very powerful, and I'm excited to let you know that digital marketers have some of the best AI tools at their disposal. And although, yes, some processes will go away, if you are above average, you will benefit. You will benefit from this. If you stay below average, I can't promise anything in any place. I only want people here to be striving to be at least above average. You don't have to be the best, that's okay. But above average, like, we don't want average here. We don't want mainstream. We don't want what everyone else does. We have to be willing to do a little bit more to get ahead. We have to be a little bit more to get what we need. Okay? First question in the chat is, what are my thoughts on GA4? For those of you who don't know what that is Google Analytics 4. And why it's a relevant topic is because Google Analytics 3, also known as Universal Analytics, is about to go away. And that's been quite a few years we've been using GA3, where some of the metrics like bounce rate were very popular. When moving to Google Analytics 4, we see a whole set of new ideas, new ways to track data, perhaps a more simplified interface, but ultimately not really favored by most marketers. Most digital marketers are frustrated with Google Analytics in general. A lot of people have started to opt for other analytics tracking tools. Google Analytics is free, and that's why a lot of people like it. It gets the job done. It integrates with many other tools. But when it really comes down to analyzing your analytics, it's not the be-all, end-all, okay? And it's definitely an intermediate and advanced area of business analytics, because it's one thing to set up a report, a chart, but even just the thinking around what are the right analytics to be looking at in this situation. Of course, there's many to collect, but which are the most impactful? How do we design our business around that? How do we motivate people around that? It's complex stuff. So I wouldn't expect to see too much of that in the entry level, but certainly as time goes for you and your career, you're going to want to get better and better at analytics. I really wouldn't try to start there though. It kind of presumes that you've seen a lot of projects, but you probably haven't. It's hard to see a lot of projects. So you should really go after something else that you can get your hands on where you don't need a lot of experience, social media, SEO content. And then from there, you see the analytics of those projects you do, because no one ever minds sharing the analytics dashboard. It's not really private if you're working together. It's valuable information. So I say learn it as you go. There's some good certificates out there. It's one of those things where you really don't need to know 90% of what is possible to know. You just need to know what makes sense for the business you're working with at the time. So it's not necessarily something you want to go and spend hundreds of hours learning every little thing, unless your specific goal would be something like data scientist. So I was saying earlier about course careers just being a few months old. And the truth is, most people haven't completed the course. So I get these people asking me, like, when are people going to get jobs? And I just think we're in the natural cycle of it. I bet you in the next quarter, you're going to see plenty. And in the next quarter, see more. It's just so early. And I think I don't mind, because I know I'm doing the best I can. I've been brought in to teach this course. I've done the best I can for this specific scenario that I was given. It's difficult to navigate the constantly changing job market, and we want to do that, right? We want to try and adjust things and help you navigate, no doubt about it. But as I was saying, there's some challenges this year. So people really need to be patient at this time. And I think it's just so important that if you are in that program, you do not need to think about what's happening with other people. You are one person who needs one job, and there are thousands of them out there. Can you get it by just clicking easy apply on Indeed? Unlikely. Now, in the Course Careers graduate portal, there is tons of new resources, and I need to make some new videos. It just came out this week. Check out your graduate portal. It's incredible the work the team has done there. I think people need to remember what Course Careers is truly doing and the price point they've offered. Never before was it possible to secure jobs in this range without experience, degrees. It was very difficult. It still isn't simple, but it is possible, and we are seeing it. And this will be a transitionary time as Course Careers is making a big impact on the world and how jobs are navigated from both sides. There's technology involved here that's going to make this possible and easier and better. And there's an opportunity here to serve that need. Now, does that mean you can just take a course, click a button, watch some videos, and get a job in a few weeks? It is possible, but you must give your all to be that. Because on average, most people go to college or university or some sort of trades. They spend thousands and thousands, at least $10,000 on their education. It takes multiple years. And yeah, maybe you do get a job from that. Maybe you don't. But with Course Careers, man, you get such an intensive knowledge transfer plus job hunting strategies that most people don't know who are just coming out of university or college. You have specialized knowledge. But yeah, you got to put in the work to develop yourself. It's not enough just to say, I want to be a digital marketer. You have to become it. And so one of the things I really value and hope for all of my students, no matter where you're at, become the best marketer you can be. Do not just try to get a job. Focus on becoming the best marketer you can be. Think further down the line. And please try to have a long time frame about your life and career, because that is what allows you to make the right investments and decisions and sacrifices, because you can see a big future. I know for some people, you live month to month, day to day. You got to grind, you got to hustle, you got to survive. I get it. In that case, do what you have to do, but still approach things from the long play. That's the secret to life, is that you don't just come to me or to these courses or to anything and say, I just want to get a job. You will get a job easily on the pathway to becoming the best digital marketer you can be. And if we can just tweak that, it's great. And here's an interesting way to look at it. First, just be the best digital marketer in your house. Can you say that yet? I hope most of you are. I'm the best digital marketer in my house for sure. My wife may argue, but I feel so. I also believe I'm the best digital marketer on my street. That's the next step, right? Do I know everyone? Am I 100% no? But I'm guessing that because this is quite specialized, it's unlikely someone knows as much as me. Now, when I get to city, now that's where it starts to get interesting. Now we're talking maybe 50,000 people. Surely there's another good digital marketer there, and that's great. That's fine. That's my next big goal, city. Then province or state. Then region, then country, then world. It's okay if you don't make it to the end, but look at those milestones and see how that would help you navigate your career, whether you want clients, whether you want to work for a corporation, or whether you want to have your own unique business outside of services and marketing related work, but you will take advantage of the knowledge. Great. Nonetheless, what does it take to be the best marketer in your house? Not much. You can take Course Careers, you can take Rich and Niche, you're good to go. You're the best in your house, probably the best on your street. Most of you here are the best on your street. Put a 1 in the chat if you think you're the best marketer on your street. And if you're not, it's okay too. But once you've achieved that, what would it take to be the best marketer in your town or city? Now you need to get those certificates. Now you need to get a couple clients under your belt. Now you really need to know some stuff. Maybe you've even done a project or two on your own, right? And then what does it take to be the best in the state? You probably worked for a big company for a couple years. You definitely made 6 figures as a freelancer, right? It's a natural progression. And it's easy to see it when you look at it that way. But when you look at it from, how do I get a job? It's like you're doing things for the wrong reason. And therefore, every way you express yourself through that mentality is sort of just slightly off. Everyone can kind of sense it. If you just said to me, look, I need to become the best marketer in my neighborhood. I'm the best on my street, but I'm not in the best in my neighborhood. You know, what does that really take? Not a lot. Make a website, write a few articles, start a social media account. You got to do the stuff. Remember when I said be the best marketer you can be, it's going to be through doing the stuff, not through just passiveness. So I love it when people start their own website. They get the courage to go buy a domain. Silly maybe sometimes, but it's about just exercising the muscles, right? You know, maybe like you wouldn't go deadlifting or powerlifting on day one. Maybe you go throw a Frisbee on the first day, you know? Like sometimes when you're getting into things, you really have to make it fun and easy on yourself. Maybe you start a Wix site. Maybe you start a card.co site. There's all these places where you get very cheap free websites. You just practice the art of getting it ranked in Google. That is the first and foremost thing that every marketer wants to be able to know, is understanding Google. Why? Because Google is the world's biggest platform. Google.com is the most visited website in the world. So your strategy and thus how you learn digital marketing has to be related to that, right? Like I don't teach Snapchat anymore. I don't care about it. It's irrelevant to me because there's like 10 bigger places that we need to work on first. There's no way I'm ever recommending a company go Snapchat, right? It's kind of not the thing anymore, and that's fine. We adjust. Okay? So that's a bit of my intro. Just really want people to tweak the mindset, get a little bit longer in their thinking, 5 to 10 years. What does it take? Who do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? How can we focus on becoming the next better version of ourselves and letting the job sort of naturally match? Because I'll tell you, these companies would love to hire the best marketer in California, the best marketer in Belgrade, the best marketer in Paris, the best marketer in wherever. They want to hire the best ones. And when you are the best, it will be because you have a proof of work for both yourself and everyone else. It can be multiple jobs. It can be multiple projects. It can be an incredible one project that proves you must know something to have gotten there. This is the approach I like. You're free to take what you heard today with a grain of salt, adjust it as you need. Wow, a lot of ones in the chat as I glance over. So we've got a lot of good neighborhood level marketers here. You're good on the street. Good. Next step, town. How can you be the best in the town? Well, you can pick any service and try to rank number one, and then you can sell those leads. I don't want to get into that, but I'm just saying like the best marketer in the town is ranking number one on Google for whatever they want. That's the point. Okay, the best marketer in the town might also have 1 million followers on Instagram. They might also be incredibly good at writing articles. There's various ways we could look at that. But enough about what I have to say. I'm really here to answer your specific questions. Get selfish, be specific. Okay? Let's take a look at some of the questions in the chat, and thank you so much for being here with me today. I am trying to make a bit of a comeback to YouTube in the coming months. I've chosen to be a bit of a family man, trying to be with my son a lot. I've been working in my gardens, been fighting the bear and deers and rat and eagle and every other animal I see out here, trying to get at my yard. I've been building too, right? I built a really kind of interesting software. I don't talk about it much because it's still kind of in beta. So yeah, I haven't been around as much, but I will be. And I have more videos to make, especially with the AI era coming. I'd like to help you navigate that and find the absolute best tools and processes, because I really believe marketers are in a great place. And if you're the first ones, sort of the first wave here to kind of take action, should be very beneficial. Okay? Just like when the first people to take on Facebook, just like the first people to start blogging, just like the first people to get on Google Ads. It's always great. Just be a leader, be an early adopter, be passionate, be excited about our industry. We are in one of the best industries. Trust me on that. I work with a lot of different people, seeing a lot of things. Everywhere I go, I feel marketers are smiling more. I don't know why. What's the lowest barrier of entry, product strategy, to getting a prospect interested in what we can offer as a digital marketer? And he noted as a full stack digital marketer. It's a free audit. Just reach out to people and say, hey, I have become an expert on diagnosing websites and how they can make more money. If you have 15 minutes, I can point out 3 things for you that would improve your customer flow. your revenue. That to me makes sense. You want something free, low barrier, low time commitment. You want to show them some value up front. And you're basically saying, here's what you should do. And if you want, you can hire me. I can do it for you. That's the general answer. Look, you're not asking an easy question. There's a lot of different ways. And you also have to understand that we are in marketing. The very nature of marketing is who can figure out the next thing. You don't want to be saying, how can I do what everyone was doing 3 years ago? You want to kind of, what you need to do and why it's so important to crush the learning curve as a marketer is you want to catch up to everybody so that when the next opportunity arrives, you can strike, right? Because maybe I can't strike because I'm doing other stuff. You can strike. You don't have anything going on. So when AI opens up a new avenue, you strike, you go for it. But you have to kind of catch up for everything else first. Right? And so that's why my programs are powerful, because I've been there. I saw every evolution of the internet. I was one of the first people on the internet at 12 years old. Maybe I was 10, 11, I don't know. I was accessing bulletin board systems through my dial-up modem. You call them through the computer and you can access this weird looking website. Nothing that looks like today. It looks like an old system, but you could see pictures and games. You could download stuff. It was the emergence of the internet, and it was incredible. It was incredible as that age to log on, play this weird little game, and be like, wow, I'm playing with people from my town. Because these were localized, because you had to call in. People set them up locally. So every city had different people setting these things up. BBS, bulletin board system. You had to have somebody who was very technical at the time to kind of show you anything about that far out world. Okay, so I've seen it all, and I'm trying to catch you up as fast as possible. And I try to give you exactly what you need. And it's tough. It's tough for people to understand exactly how to approach all this, because if you look at a business breakdown, marketing has a huge percentage of the work and tasks and variations. So to be full stack is incredible. It's very valuable. It's good to have that title. Just to believe that you have that is great. It means you can do a lot of stuff for people. You can save them time. They don't have to hire multiple people. So back to the question. Free is always good, but free can attract the wrong person. But I'll tell you, the right thing to be asking, not just that, is how can I get my offer in front of 500 people plus a month, a week, a day? Because what you'll find is that most people are just doing too low a volume to validate anything. If you would only just put up the signs on all the posts, if only you would just do the hard work, you might be surprised at what comes on the other end. And it's just a couple years of it, because suddenly then you have a reputation, then you have experience, and you have specialized knowledge. You could do a lot with that. You can get other gigs, opportunities, or jobs with relative ease. But that first part, to me, it's like if you're a passionate marketer who's going to be the best marketer in your city, go tell someone that. Just tell them, look, I'm writing to you out of passion and determination. I will work very hard for you, and I will leave no stone unturned. I will help you in any way, shape, or form. Give me a small chance. And that's why also some of my new digital marketers entry level, the answer isn't Indeed and LinkedIn. It's Craigslist. It's going hunting for small businesses on Craigslist and seeing if you can just help them and call it an experience. Like, don't put big expectations on it. But when you're going Indeed, LinkedIn, you're chasing world corporations who are offering remote gigs with good salaries. No doubt it's going to be competitive. You have to know when you're learning, and you have to know when you're earning. Learning and earning, not at the same time. When you learn, you forget about money, and you submit to the knowledge you're receiving and accept and humble that you are not as smart as you need to be, and you don't ask. You give, you serve, you be a monk, okay? When you're ready to earn, you demand payment and you don't do a single thing extra. You see the huge extreme and contrast there, and that's important because the person you're working with needs to know what kind of relationship this is to even maybe help you back. If you come to me to learn, but you're talking about earning, I'll just be like, see you later. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't talk to you right now. If you just come to me and say, hey, I need to learn this. Is there any way I can figure out how to learn that through your business? You're opening a dialogue that's more viable. And that's what it means to jab, 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 right hook, as I recommend that book in Course Careers, because a lot of people, see, when people come to me at Rich and Niche, they're a little bit older, they've done a bit more, they're trying to do something independent. They sort of have had the time to learn the good mindsets of being successful online, like giving, low expectations, just bringing value, not being a perfectionist, not worried about what other people think. Like, those are all mindset shifts that we have to go through as marketers. When you come in for your first job, you take this course, like, I don't even know what you think about money. I don't know what you think about marketing. I don't know what you think about the internet. I don't know what, like, there may be some missing mental frameworks for people, and we have to remember that. And it's hard that, because I don't know, you just jump into a course. You could be 18 years old, skipping college, skipping that, and that's okay. It's viable, but then you need to supplement your mindset and make sure you're rock solid in the head about how you perceive the world, why you're doing the things you're doing, what motivates you, what are you willing to sacrifice. I hope you're sacrificing something, because if you want new things in your life, typically you've got to get rid of something. So, I talk a lot. That's my nature. Sorry. If you want to re-ask your question in a new way, I'm always willing to try again. What would be the 4 skills that make the most money in the world of digital marketing? Well, right now, automation is very valuable, but the problem is it's very hard to automate things when you never built the thing below. Okay, imagine you go to Elon Musk at Tesla right now and he's like, hey, can you go automate that process? And you never seen the process. How is that possible? So automation is a bit more intermediate and advanced. But that's kind of the thing. You see what's happening in this world, why there's so much software. All these businesses came to life. They all had processes. Technologies evolved, and we're looking to automate and save the money. It's that simple. It is all motivated by profit. Okay, it is legally required that a corporation seek profit, and therefore they're automating. And that's why we're all in this standstill where people are like, I don't want to hire right now. I need to see what goes on with this AI stuff. And that's scary for people to hear. But we just kind of need the dust to settle. But while it's settling, you shouldn't sit and wait. You should be skilling up. So I first started with automation, why it's important, because it's part of the global technology shift that everyone moves to automation in time. 100 years from now, it'll be very different than what it is today. Very few people will be doing what looks like work. Machines and people will be doing different things. People will need to do thinking, strategy, unique human elements. Machines will be good at those too to some degree, but there is a lot of complexity, and I want to add another word to your vocabulary, although I know you know it already. But when you asked me the 4 skills, you know what word came to my mind? Was campaigns. Don't worry so much about the individual skill, because that's what's good for you. You see, skills don't make money. Let me rephrase that. Your skills as a worker or employee are not what's making skills for the end company. There's something else happening there. It's sort of a mix of the skills and the company, okay? So what you need to start thinking about more is less about the skills for you and more about what it is the company's actually receiving when you do those skills. And what they're really receiving is a marketing campaign. So if I want to sell something, I should make a campaign to sell it. What's in a campaign? A lot of stuff. Words, pictures, videos, strategy, social strategy, traditional media, traditional marketing. There's more too. A campaign is an all-encompassing set of what we need to sell that product. So what you really want to be good at is creating a full campaign, because then you can walk into any business, say, what would you like me to sell? And they say, I'd like you to sell this. Whatever this is. What is this? It's a digital camera for kids. And you say, okay, I'm going to create a campaign around that. First, I'm going to start strategizing around who wants what you're selling. Who would want a digital camera for kids at 3 years old? Parents. Kids don't spend money. The parents buy. Okay, so now I'm targeting parents with 3-year-olds. How do I find them? And what do those people want to see here before they buy this? So I'm going to need a web page, product page, sales page, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to need probably a video that's like a commercial or a promo. I need any content from my ads or my organic content. So basically, I gave you the answer just now. It's whatever's inside that you can make the bigger deliverable. Let me give you a better metaphor. Would you rather be able to build cars or build engines? Would you rather be able to build houses or decks or a bathroom? Now, no doubt, you could make some money selling bathrooms, but you get where you really want to go by selling houses or building houses and cars. The ability to make the bigger thing is what's really valuable, because now you are a human managing complexity, the project, the deliverables, the time. That's not easy for AI to replace that anytime soon. You can't automate that because we're in real time, real world reactivity, right? We have to feel the market sometimes. We have to make changes on the fly. Not always, but if you can kind of get your head around like, what is the biggest deliverable I can offer a business, whether you're getting a job or clients, that's a great way to think about it. Instead of saying, I learned copy, where's my money? Say, I learned copy so that I can go and create sales pages, which are 5,000 plus word intensive long form sales letters. I learned copywriting so I can go do incredibly good and effective Facebook ads. I learned copywriting so that I can make a video sales letter and write the script. So it's the output that I want you to connect with, not the input. Keep doing the input, but ask me about the output if you want to understand what makes money, right? Get your questions in the chat. I'm not going to be here all day. I will try my best to answer them. Anything about course careers, anything about Rich and Niche, anything about becoming a marketer, starting your own business, navigating the current world of AI. Wow, that's a tricky one. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. So I just finished course careers. Well, you probably finished the first version. Like I said, we're in month 4. I put a new version out that added a big content marketing module. It's great. It really gets specific on the job I would like you to go for and what you need to learn to do it. Because we asked a lot of marketing managers. We have that guy named Cole. He's in the Discord. He works for Course Careers. He helps by interviewing the people that hire you guys. And so a lot of people say organic social is the place to start. And being good. You have to be really good. You have to know about each platform, and we can discuss all those more and more at length. But the module was about helping you narrow into content marketer. It's not my fault. Digital marketing became a huge umbrella. Huge. Covers a lot now. And give me a break. Everything's digital marketing now. We can just call it marketing. But people don't realize that. And so also it's really hard to get jobs because when people put the word digital marketer, they all mean different things. But if you go start doing what I say, the entry level, social media manager or content marketer, those two variations and similar, I think you'll be happy. And don't forget, guys, I made that job site, remotedigitalmarketingjobs.com. I think we're adding like 50 to 100 jobs right in that section that I'm talking about every week. So remotedigitalmarketingjobs.com, I'm curating a list for you guys so you can just go bang, bang, bang. These are the entry levels that I want to hit because I know it's tedious to be going through job postings. I'm doing what I can. Next question on the board is, oh wait, I was finishing a question. Haha. So I just finished Course Careers and I'm wondering if I should find a job in the mindfulness niche or should I use my passion for AI and mindfulness and go freelance? I 100% recommend you try the job route. It's better to start there if you've never done either. I think you're going to learn faster. I think you're going to have a bit more simpler of a time. Course Careers really is just about getting you to entry level. And freelance is certainly a next stage. We'd want to see you over at richaniche.com to learn a lot more about client-facing elements. And selling yourself is a whole new world as well. So I wouldn't rush it. I would really try and go for the job. And as soon as I got the job, literally the day I got the job, that's when I'd start thinking about freelance. Funny how that is. As soon as I got a job, what I would then do is look for my first freelance client because then I would have nothing to lose. Be careful. Some jobs want you not to have clients. Don't tell them you might get clients. That's a no-no. Okay? Nothing can stop you unless they have a very strict clause about it, but be careful. Okay? And probably separate the kind of world you're in there. So if you're doing work for Oracle or Salesforce or Canva or Adobe and you're in their department, like maybe you do mindfulness in your clients or whatever that niche is you're referring to. Now, be careful. A lot of people like things like mindfulness, spirituality, yoga, vegan. Like I was into all these as well early on. And I'll tell you why. It's because they seem like softer people who run these businesses. And somehow we're going to have an easier time speaking with them and they're going to understand us better. And that is true. But the flip side of that coin is that these businesses cannot afford our services. Unfortunately, I believe a lot of these businesses are going to have to become very lean to survive. Their margins aren't as good. And, well, not all of them, but a lot of them. And they're going to have to sort of do a lot on their own. That's not everyone, but that's a tricky thing about those niches. Like when you think about where people spend a lot of money, you have to see that you're taking a piece of that as the marketer in that world. So here's what I would do if I was you. I'd immediately start a blog on AI and mindfulness. Every day for the next 30 days, I'd write a 500 to 1,000 word post using AI about AI and mindfulness. Every week I'd write one piece that's longer form that I write by myself, that I reflect upon everything I'm learning so people can see it both in action and how I feel about it. Because a lot of people may use AI, but they may not like it. They just have no choice now. And then I would search for a job, the one that makes the most sense for you. And then you would use that project as an example. If you were in an interview and say, yeah, I've been working on my own site, I've been blogging every day. I'm very committed to using my entire time to be a focused digital marketer. I study at Course Careers. I learn from Rich UX. I read books. There's nothing more, left. And they're going to hire you. And then you have the freedom to have an income and say, okay, let me sell someone at a good price. Because once you have an income, you don't have to underquote yourself. Because what happens in the freelance world, everyone's underquoting themselves because they refuse to sell enough people. They refuse to send their offer to enough people. They refuse to reach out. They refuse to post content. They're lazy. Everyone's lazy. Everyone's tired. Everyone's worn out. I'm right there with you. That's why I talked about not being average and sacrifice. Okay, it's not about making life perfectly easy. It's about what do you want out of all this? And can we find a pathway? And shouldn't we be honest that digital marketing truly is the unlock in the modern world? Because look, you can go into tech sales or IT and probably make more money in a job, but you might not enjoy it first and foremost. Second, those two jobs do not lead you really into starting your own business. You're going to have to learn marketing alongside of that. Whereas if you're a great marketer, you can have many successful businesses without have ever studied sales, coding, IT. So there's a great exit towards all this. That's why the long term is useful for marketing. You're only going to get better. You're only going to have more experience. So I like marketing simply because it's going to unlock many elements in your life. It's the only thing you need to learn if you want to do drop shipping. It's the only thing you need to learn if you want to do affiliate sales. It's the only thing you need to learn if you want to start writing online and be paid for that with a subscription model. Like, you don't learn outside of digital marketing. And that's why it's funny. Like, I teach digital marketing, but I'm really teaching people how to run an effective online business. It's up to you to decide what that business is going to be. And I hope you've heard of me speak about the Ikigai. It's critical to use a framework to choose your life path. Otherwise, it falls flat at some point down the line. You cannot just do it for money. You cannot just do it for the title. You cannot just do things that just help people. You cannot just do things that you like. There has to be a mix. Great question. Hey, Rich, I'm a large digital marketer. Hey, Rich, I'm a digital marketer in a large corporation. I want to make it as a freelancer and build a business, but I'm feeling stuck because of school. How do you get a second wind to drive towards it? Please let me be really frank with you and don't take it personally at all. Sounds like you're in a great spot, you just don't see it yet. But the truth is, when you're in school, you have no real sense of the real world yet. I highly doubt that you've spent much time working, maybe a couple years, maybe you got some part-time jobs, great. But the fact is, you never had to do those jobs to feed yourself. I think that people ultimately reach a tipping point where they want to have their own life and freedom, and they realize, look, it's going to take a certain amount of funds to do that. What do I have to do that? What do I have to do to get there? So, second wind, I'm not sure if you're referring to late in the night or you're referring to like sort of just a new motivation, but just recognize, like, there's return on investment, ROI, but there's also COI, cost of inaction. If you don't do it, what are the consequences? One of the funny things about how the internet works and how Instagram works and how people are learning is everyone talks about ROI. And the reason they do that is it's the easiest way to link people with an investment that makes sense. If I invest 1,000 and I'm going to get 5,000, really no-brainer, right? Lost my train of thought a little bit, but I think I made my point about how to navigate that. Now, if you're in school, and here's what really is going to work tremendously for you. It's get up and do this first and then go to school. Get up at 5 o'clock, the winter's hour, work for 2 hours every day before you go. You'll not only be more focused and be happier when you're at school because you've already done something incredible. You've been productive, whereas 90% of people are not. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds tough. I did it today. I was tired when I got up. You know how much I wanted to go back to bed? It was 5:45. I was like, gotta go, gotta do this, gotta work, gotta feed my family. Once you have a deep responsibility on your back, it's not hard to be motivated. You're in the hard part right now. It's tough. School's tough. It slows us down. It's not the best thing in the modern world. But take what you can from it. If you're already in it, take what you can from it. What can you do? It is life. Things change. Things shift. We have to be thinking and strategic. And we can't just live blindly, not adjust as we see new things come into our environments or world, so to speak. Oh, welcome. Let me shout out a few more people. Green, Time to Focus, Sean Connor, Jewelry, Chris, Habiba, Mighty Miggy, Butte, Eunice, Kevin Yee, my man, Tesla Da Vinci, great name. I'm a little behind on the questions, my friends. Hang in there. We are 1 hour into this stream. Well, 47 minutes. Jewelry asks, I finished the course careers course and I did really well on the exam. I'd like to know how well is really well, please, in the chat if you can. I think I should apply to internships instead of jobs for the experience. Absolutely. When I was brought on to course careers, I was asked to make a course that helps people get an internship. We agreed at the time that it's all about getting an internship first. And once you get that, then it's easy. And suddenly, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how the message shifted. because I don't run course careers. I just made the course and I'm the instructor. But I guess we just want to be really competitive, and we want to say that, look, we believe that a certain percentage of people can make this happen, and therefore we can say that. I don't write all those messages, unfortunately. So if you go to richandniche.com, you'll very rarely hear me speak in that way, because I admit that for some people, it's going to take a little bit longer to learn all of this stuff and to practice it and then to find the opportunities. That's why I've recommended multiple people today to start their own website, because you don't need anyone's permission to start practicing. That's so valuable, right? Doing well on the exam, by the way, is 95, 90 to 95 and up. 80 is actually not bad, but it's not really well, just so you know. It's not like A in high school, because it's just not that hard. I know there's a lot of material though, and that could be the challenge, is that maybe you didn't get through everything. 94, terrific. 92, terrific. You guys are my top students, and you're here. That makes sense. People who are willing to put the effort in to get the high score, they recognize, I don't need to rush this. If I do this the right way, everything I want is going to work out. And anyways, my alternatives are so much slower and expensive, likely. So thank you for sharing your scores. Congratulations. Those are good scores. Please do the content marketing module. Please be a part of that. It's a great experience. You're getting a ton of portfolio work there. And I'm about to release the ability to post it on our community channel. So the people who are doing that exercise, producing all that content, you're actually going to post the best pieces online. That'll be fun. I don't know any other program that's going to allow that. That is quite a logistics nightmare, but I'll figure it out. I'll get to it this week. I promise, guys. I'm on it. Let's go to a next question. Do you read any books, magazines, blogs to learn more? I find Twitter is plenty. I'll grab a new book if people are talking about it. I certainly don't read magazines. I don't think you're going to find that. Blogs, definitely. Definitely there's some great blogs out there. But you know, we're just in the world where so many people figured out how to make videos. We're typically watching videos. But remember when I said the thing about learning and earning? Be careful that you're not constantly learning and watching videos when you could be going out and making money. I don't know what tech salespeople are following up on. It's not like there's a lot of new tech trends and information. The way we sell really hasn't changed too much, but hey, what do I know? Question from Chris. If you have a job and you want to make a personal brand, should you make it under an alias if your job approves? First of all, I have to give you the advice of be cautious. I now know multiple people who've been fired for posting content as an employee. It's so sad. And it's one of the biggest reasons I want to do what I do, is to help people live their purpose. Maybe that is having a personal brand. So, hey, it's your personal brand, right? Like, it's up to you if it's an alias. I hope people know that Rich UX is an alias, but I love this alias, and it's very close to my real name anyways. But it's totally okay to make an alias if you love it, right? But we don't want to be switching that a lot because it's our personal brand. But then again, sometimes we just have to start again. Simple question from the chat. How do you remain relevant? It's a tough question, and it's a bit disturbing, the answer, I think. And I think we have to be careful that we don't overvalue relevancy. Because who are we relevant to? Are you talking about being relevant to the whole world? Do you need to be relevant to the whole world? Perhaps instead of trying to be relevant, you can simply try to leave a legacy. Instead of trying to be known and popular today, perhaps you can think about your death and leaving behind the greatest work that you were able to achieve. And maybe that will make you relevant forever. I'd hate to be relevant for 1 month and then be gone. I think that'd be very depressing. So be careful about worrying about that. But to answer your question, it's to keep up on what cool kids do. Marketing is a lot of times about what cool people like. Marketing finds its edge in early adoption and being just a little bit different. That's why we call it the unique selling proposition, because we need to be just slightly different if we're going to be successful in anything. It's very hard to be a replica of something and be successful. The name of my spaceship, it's not a spaceship, it's a submarine. How do you remain relevant? Oh, same question. I'll answer this question. How do you remain relevant as a digital marketer in this era of AI? You see, when there was only the newspaper, one of the earlier mediums, let's look at this from the perspective of mediums. The common mediums are text, audio, images, and video. The four common media, right? Mediums. What you want to see is every medium that came after the last medium reflected a lot on the previous medium. So the newspaper came out to share news, whatever that is. When the radio came, the radio reflected upon what was said on the newspapers a lot of the time. And when the TV came, it reflected a lot about the movies. A lot of TV shows like to talk about movies and things like movie review, because we as a society are trying to understand our own reality today. Therefore, we have to understand the media we're receiving and perceiving as important to us. So when the internet came, what happened is we reflected a lot about the TV, right? All these websites popped up about what's the best TV show? What's the music from this show? What's the lyrics from this song? What's the top movie? Rotten Tomatoes, this kind of stuff. So with every progressive medium, and I believe AI is almost a medium, it's to use that medium to reflect on the previous medium. And so AI will allow us to reflect on the internet because we can use AI to quickly understand the internet far more than what we had with Google search. Google search was great, but it has a specific usage with a clear intention of taking a specific action of learning or purchasing something. AI is going to do a lot of different things for a lot of different people. And we're not just going to reflect on the internet. What we're really going to reflect on is data, because internet created data points as well as a lot of media. So how do you stay relevant as a digital marketer? You play in AI and you help people understand the internet, data, and hopefully AI. But we won't understand AI until one day later when we can reflect back and understand what it was. And that's why people are calling for a stoppage in AI, because we're afraid that we haven't actually looked at the end of the road. What is the real result of all this? And that's why you're in the hardest year of the last decade to get a job, because there's such unclarity. That's why you may want to take things into your own hands. That's why you may not want to rely on corporations to feed you. You may need to have two things going. I think it's fair for me in a recession to say you should have a job and a side hustle and not be complaining about it. You should be thrilled that you have that luxury and opportunity. When your grandparents finished the war, some of them were really stuck. Not everyone could just pick it up again. So we have to see it as a luxury. It's hard, but that's what I meant about the mindset, about coming to work with the right mindset, about seeking a job with the right mindset. If you're quite young, you might not have been exposed to some of these ideas. Like, do you realize you're not your thoughts? Like, most people don't know that yet. Most people pay thousands of dollars for someone to tell them you're not your thoughts. Your thoughts are a byproduct of chemicals floating through your body and brain that trigger perception, understandings, memories, and sometimes they're not controllable. They are not you. And so that's just the first thing that you might want to tell someone. It's like, hey, whatever you're thinking, you can change it. And so you can change your life, because this whole time you've been thinking that you're not good enough. You thought, because you thought you're not good enough, that you're not. And this is what I mean is like, I can teach you the course, but maybe it's not the course. And so hey, when's this course going to get me a job? It's like being a professional in the modern world, being a survivor on the internet, being someone who's willing to take on what is happening today, what we're faced with, the cost of living, etc. It takes strength, courage, determination, commitment. Please seek answers around these ideas, and you will see tremendous transformation in your life. The mind really carries a lot of the key unlocks. Okay. How long does a course take to finish? I don't know. How fast do you watch videos? How fast do you read? How fast do you learn? In general, the videos are, 15 to 20 hours of watch time. There's a lot more new stuff added. You can watch it on 1.25. I sound great in 1.25. Feel free. I'd say you should finish it in 6 to 8 weeks, 4 hours a day. If you go 2 hours a day, take 12 weeks. Don't rush it. But while you're not doing the course, what else can you do? Everywhere you go, look around you. Who's marketing? Who's saying what? What did they do? Every website you go, where's the form? Where's the button? What color is the button? Why is the button like that? Every email you read, what was the headline? Could it have been better? Every picture you see, is it in alignment with the avatar? Soon you'll be walking around and you'll spot nothing but poor marketing. There is endless opportunity in this world because most people just are very poor at marketing. Because I'm part of the era where all the information is coming out, and I'm a curator of that information to help people navigate this interesting part of their life where they say, you know what? A job isn't enough for me, but I certainly want one. I want one in a good area that I like it, but I'd also like the potential for something more in the future. Like, that's just a very common belief and desire for people today. And it only takes a few people doing it that suddenly everybody's inspired by it because it sounds better. You don't have to be a corporate worker. What? But then you have to overlay needs, funds, debt, personal ability to stay committed to something. Some people they need to be in a very structured place, and they need to be surrounded by people who are willing to guide every step. And I'm sorry that is you, if that's you. And that's just because your schools have let you down. Your parents may have let you down. I don't want to criticize. It's very hard to be a parent. But I would certainly be parenting my children than most of everything I've seen in the past. But we live in a new world where different things are important. So we shouldn't judge. Is Facebook ads dead? No, it's resurging, in fact. And that will happen. As people shift, prices will shift. It's a market, right? I don't think Facebook ads are dead at all. At all. I just think there's other shinier things. I think there's very good ways to use Facebook and very appropriate ways to use it. What is easier, SEO or ads? SEO is easier, but it takes longer to see the results. Ads, you can see results tomorrow. You could be making money tomorrow. But the most common mistake with ads is to think it's only about the ad, when in reality, it's everything up until the ad has led to that moment. Cold ads, they don't work that great. Retargeting, on the other hand, having a funnel. People go to the website, then they see a different ad. People buy the first product, then they see a different ad, multiple products. That's good marketing. Your goal is to offer the right message to the right person at the right time. If I haven't bought anything from you, don't try and upsell me. If I've been buying you from a year, why are you asking me to join your newsletter? Sell me a great offer. Welcome, everyone. How do you go about creating unique pillar thought philosophies for content marketing? I would say be careful, first of all, to not overlook the cornerstones. So the key message, maybe there's 4, 10, 20, shouldn't be that many. Every business should really only have a few key messages they want to send. I think you should think about whether your business should really just be rotating that over and over and just hammering it. Are you really the business who's trying to build an audience? Is that really what you're doing? Or would you just like to get more leads and close more deals? Because if that's the case, it's okay to repeat your message over and over, because you have to understand it's hard to feel it. But when new people come to a profile page, it's the first time they've been there. They don't know what you've been saying. They haven't heard everything before, but they just found you. It's easy to forget when you're creating an audience that there's this discovery still for people, and that you need to be having strategies that encourage discovery. So I would first assess whether we should even bother with you're pointing out a real problem. It's hard to always think of new ideas. And so that's why I might say, you know what? Let's stick to these 10 topics, 10 ideas, and let's just kind of repeat them. And then maybe if this topic is really good, let's turn that into an interview series where we ask different people that same topic. So the topic never really changes because it's very relevant to this group, but you're still able to get new people through. You have to find that. And then if you're willing to do new content all the time, maybe if you struggle with coming up with new ideas, you do have to go into more of a trend-based approach or what people are thinking about. You know, it's like people want to know how to do things faster with AI today a lot more than they want to know how to rank in Google. That's just a change in the times. So if you're always going to do an interview or an article or a show, you probably have to check in with what's trending. And I think with AI, it's really easy to kind of figure out what's trending a little bit quicker and just go with a volume game. Look, there's evergreen and then there's trending content. Evergreen is the hardest to rank because so many people want evergreen, because why wouldn't I want that? Why wouldn't I want to make an article once and make it valuable for the long term? So a lot of people get that same idea. Trends, it's a competition. Who can say it first? Who can get the funniest spin-off? Who can make the first great meme? Who's Elon Musk going to retweet? Right? It's different. But there's value there. There's volume there. There's eyeballs there. And potentially many more. But there's also a uniquely different kind of battle going on. If your company has to make cuts, would digital marketers be on the chopping block? No, because who's going to put out the campaigns? No, not yet. Are some digital marketers going to be changing how they work? Yes. Are they on the chopping block? I think you're on the chopping block if all you were doing was high volume grunt work, meaning all you were doing was keyword research. All you were doing was writing blog posts. All you were doing was posting on social media. I think then you're in a threat, and that's why I've always preached generalist full stack. See, I'm going the opposite direction from the internet. Everyone wants you to specialize. I get it. But in the beginning, it doesn't make any sense. You aren't ready to specialize. You just simply haven't learned enough. You'll know when it's time. You need access to experience. You need to taste different things, try different things. And that's why it's good to have a generalized, flat set of skills, but then also a T-shape. So something you're great at, but you're good at everything. So that if I'm a company, I'm not going to rehire someone. I'm just going to, hey, you've been doing really well. Why don't you just kind of shift into here and bring more value there? But look, there's people on the chopping block in every single industry. All of the weak ones will be gone. That's just a fact. Okay? And you shouldn't be discouraged. You should say, I've got to work harder than ever. This is my moment in life. If I can break through this, everything's easier. If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. Hey, Charlie. Charlie says, it's funny, I've been following you since I was in school and you actually gave me much motivation in digital marketing. That's awesome. Glad to hear it. Just try to be a helpful ally on your quest to becoming your greatest version, whether that's a marketer or a brand builder, business owner, or a monk, you decide. Twitter's underrated. It is underrated, but damn, is it hard to start. But should you be consuming there? Yes, with very curated lists and an aggressive block and mute word strategy. You built a portfolio with Wix. Now you're building a website using WordPress for a charity. Perfect. Charity is a great opportunity. You applied SEO, currently running their Facebook page, as well as a blog and Medium. Isn't it so interesting how you just get one little project and it leads into, hey, can you do this? Yes, 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 right? What else would you recommend I add to my portfolio? All of that times 3. You know, like that's going to show that you've been in this for a while. Making one of everything isn't the best way to showcase. It's the start, but you did a great job. Did you know you can just go to every other charity and say, hey, I recently helped this charity make a new website. I ranked them on the front page, and look at their Facebook page. All their people are really happy. Would you like me to do that for you? Contact me. Get on a call with me. That's what it is. You just created basically a little case study, a little example. Try to track the results from this project. Okay. I'm going to wrap up this call pretty soon, my friends. I hope you've been enjoying it. I hope I've answered a lot of your questions for today. Many say that controversy creates cash or creates attention. Is this true for marketing? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because controversy drives engagement. Engagement is critical for the algorithm. That's what people mean by when they say engagement farming. It's when people put content out that purposely is polarizing so that they rank it higher in the algorithm and it gets shown to more people. They're being very greedy. They're willing to make people a little bit annoyed or frustrated for the sake of views. Okay, that's one business strategy. But see, I do the exact opposite. When I know you guys are overloaded with crazy media, I don't post. When I know you need to be learning, I post. When I know you need to be earning, I take a break. I'm in a wave, just as you guys are. I'm in a wave of this digital marketing training world, you know, and I try my best to give you good, fair media, honest media, clean media. I don't over preach, oversell. I don't use clickbait. I keep my thumbnails in check. I don't really care how many views I get. I'm supposed to start trying to care, but truthfully, I've never looked. Truthfully, I don't check my analytics because my goals really have nothing to do with being popular on YouTube. My goals are aligned with helping people achieve a very specific outcome, and it just makes sense that that's the place to start and find those people. Remember we talked about having a difference between how you get awareness versus selling. You know, when you're doing awareness, you want to just be giving. You want to be open. You want to be a little bit vaguer. You want to appeal to a slightly broader. For those of you who spent an hour with me today, you're an hour closer to me, and that will change our relationship. And maybe we'll do business in the future. Maybe we won't. But I don't like to go the controversy route. I like to have a peaceful life, and I go to sleep really well every night. I don't go to sleep with anxiety because I really try to get up every day, put in an honest day's work, and try to help people. And I don't try to serve myself. Darius says, I appreciate you, Rich. I appreciate you too, Darius. Thanks for being a part of my programs, giving it your best. What makes a good CMO? Deeply experienced, confident, a leader. People like working for you. People want to be inspired by you. You're able to express the company's vision in an inspiring way. It's much more than the technical. It's about motivating people to do the best work. It's hard to motivate people, you know, unless they're on a bonus plan, it's tough. So everyone sort of falls in the trap of kind of doing the minimum. It's dangerous, especially during this time. AI will come for you if you do the minimum. All you have to do right now is show passion, commitment, determination, gratitude. Okay, you focus on those healthy ideas, the right people will come to you. Is it better to use Webflow instead of WordPress? It is better if you're ready to handle about twice to 5 times as much work. It's significantly more complex, but for that purpose, it can do a lot of amazing things. I really like both of the platforms. If I needed something simple, I might go WordPress, but I use Webflow for my own business. I see most people seem to hate ads. Absolutely. That's why the first 3 seconds are the most important. And most people talk about that in digital advertising. And they're cheap. And so it doesn't really matter. Through volume, you can still get results. But yes, it is, a lot of people are skipping the ads. But did you know that YouTube also has non-skippable ads now? Most people are not. If everyone could do ads like content and everyone could do content like ads, they'd actually do a little better. It's complex, it's nuanced, but it's advanced to understand that. Yeah, still got to wrap it up in the next few moments, wrapping it up with your questions. It's been a great day. We've been live for an hour and 15 minutes. And I'll be back more often, probably every Monday. Try to see me here on YouTube live. I'll try to clip the best moments and throw them up as shorts, so if you miss it, you can still catch those. Thank you, Harvey. I appreciate you too. I've definitely noticed you around lately, and I see you're dedicated to becoming a great marketer. Keep it up. Tesla asks, do you take any precautions with your work to avoid lawsuits? Very, very little. I'll tell you why, especially about copyright. If you did violate a copyright, it is absolutely mandatory for that company to notify you first and give you the chance to take it down. It's called a DCMA takedown request. It's like the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And it says that before you start a litigation, you have to tell people. You have to tell the person who made the website and the owner of the server. If the person doesn't do it, the server is allowed to delete it. You should study copyright. I should put some videos about that. It's easy to get around copyright. Not in a nefarious way, but by simply turning the work into something unique and new or adding commentary to it. Those are different ways. Go look up fair use for copyright and you'll understand how you're allowed to use basketball clips, how you're allowed to use comedy clips. Like, it'll be clear to you at least a little bit more how people are doing that, because there is a way to sort of hack that. Yeah, everyone, look, I think we need to hang out a little bit more. I've been very sort of in my own communities and not out here public enough. And I know there's a lot of people we can help with these videos and these calls. So I'll be back on Mondays to serve you guys and to answer your questions. I'll work on a checklist. I really want to give you a really clear career checklist, like very little tiny things, so we can go absolutely step by step so that you know exactly what to do next. I'm just coming back right now. I've got the kids to deal with, but this is important. I've identified that this weekly stream is an important thing for everybody, for me as a business owner, as an instructor, and for you to stay in touch, stay accountable, to learn, to ask questions, to make the course a little bit more real, whatever course you're taking from me. I mean, I have like 10 plus courses now, okay? You can either join me at Course Careers and have a very straightforward entry-level roadmap and a lot of assistance in the job hunting process, tools, resources. Obviously, you get the 500 LinkedIn connections typically by joining Course Careers because there's so many people there. Great. See you there. See you on Mondays. This is what we do. If you feel like you want to see me all the time or you want to join my other programs, I obviously do group coaching. I have my academy, which allows you to get access to all my courses. I don't know if you guys know about this, but I recently created a new offer. I think it's the fairest offer I've ever created. It's all of my stuff on a monthly basis. $97 a month. Definitely it's a little higher for your subscriptions of the subscriptions you have, but this is a subscription that changes your life. You know, it's up to you to find and see the value there. I can do everything I have to share with you what it is and how it works. But if you'd prefer like Netflix, Disney, Call of Duty, and have these subscriptions, and that's your life, I'm cool with that. Like, I am not as entertaining as those things. But if you're trying to make a change, There should be some changes in how you behave and what you do, and perhaps how you prioritize your resources. You just have to know that solutions exist, but they're not really click and complete. They are begin and explore and start the journey. The journey can be long, and so we recognize that. And that's why I've often taken the approach of coming from a community-oriented route first. Because whether we're just starting out or we're 3 years into the career, we're always going to need people to come back and ask for help, support, clarity, feedback. You don't want to go all on your own. I know it's very trendy, but it's hard. It's a lot. It's good to ask for help. It's good to go faster by getting your questions answered. It's good to have the courage to seek guidance and to be humble and to do that. Think I am wrapping it up here. We're counting down probably the last 2 minutes or so. It was great to see you all. A lot of people jumped in today. I think I put the links in the description if you're looking for more from me. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It's all the same, at Richanish. I do want to put more content out. And I just want to shout out Demola from my community. He said, Rich UX is the only person I listen to. I deleted everything else. And so that was really inspiring. And that kind of made me feel bad that I hadn't been putting out more. I do put out quite a few podcasts. I do put out YouTube videos here and there, but I haven't been thinking hard about it. I've been thinking about other stuff. And yeah, if I've reached the point where I've earned your respect enough such that you would listen to me so dedicated and so loyal, I have to repay that. And I will do my best to put out the freshest, interesting materials. How can you help? You can come to the community and let me know what it is you're asking, what you'd love to see videos on. You can comment on the videos. You can kind of engage a little bit harder. We'll feel that relationship more. Look, it's hard to be a remote community where we have to work a little bit harder than other local communities if we're going to stick together, if we're going to help one another. And I think in the coming AI era, we really want to bank on community. Just seems to be the right idea. Yes, Jay Sharpie, I'm sorry. I will reveal the last part of that exercise. Got caught up with some stuff, but now I hope I've given you plenty of ammo, at least for the first shot at it. But every Monday, I'll lock and load you with another clip. Thanks, everyone. Farewell. Have a great day. Take action. Don't give up. It's just a brick at a time. You can make it.